do that. All right, so um for the inflammation, like you want to make sure your bowels. So it has to do with like drainage points throughout the body. So you want to make sure you're going at least once a day, if not more. So if you tend to be more constipated, you got to work on that. If you are more loose, then probably work on the probiotics. Ease has, for inflammation and joint stuff, a lot of people do really well with doing a loading dose. So that's two in the morning, two in the afternoon, and two at night. If you can, do it on an empty stomach with a full glass of water, because that just helps the enzymes get systemically and help really the enzymes clean out between your joints. Um, and that's really helpful for joint pain. Um, Also, it just helps reduce inflammation. Typically, it's sort of like how you eat 3 times a day, you have to plug in the anti-inflammatories 3 times a day, until you have where your body's no longer reacting to whatever might be like the root thing that's going on. So, gut health is like the number one. Blood sugar balance is super helpful in um, just helping reduce inflammation. If people are struggling with weight with the reset, typically I start looking at their liver. You have like where your liver converts out most of your fat. And so if people either gain weight after, like they lose weight with the reset, but then gain it again, typically, typically you have where, um, the liver just isn't converting things correctly. So you have phases in the liver. You got phase one, phase two, phase three. Sorry. This keeps just popping up. And so if you have like a fast phase one, slow phase two, you're gonna see where you put on weight because the toxins aren't moving through as fast. And then you have what's called a phase three, which is your bile, your gallbladder, and then you're literally going out your bowels. So you can be like getting things through the liver or through your lymph. Um, but if it's not exiting out the GI tract fast enough, you will reabsorb them. And that will increase inflammation or just keep the joints hurting, gain weight, and things like that. So we just want to make sure like bowels are moving and that we're adding in the right amount of probiotics. Maybe you need maybe more. A lot of people just do 2 probio 5. Sometimes if they don't detox, going up to 3 to 4 is really beneficial. Sometimes people add ease while increasing probio 5, just in case they have detox to help just mitigate that. Now, ease was made by a doctor. He has there's somewhere on YouTube floating around. He made it because he did not like having to give narcotics to his patients as much. He saw like where there was larger ramifications than benefits for long-term use of like pain meds. So he helped with Implexus, helped designed ease to really target that inflammation response. And people with like arthritis type stuff really get a lot of benefit from it if they dose it right. And typically you got to add X Factor Plus in it because that one helps certain liver conversion sections. I'm trying to keep it a little simple. It just helps things move through. Um, and it helps just nutritionally. Like if you're deficient in anything, like vitamin D, you're still going to get sick because you just don't have enough vitamin D to get the immune system to roll over and do certain things. So same thing, just like having that X Factor Plus, that multivitamin in there to help plug in any maybe nutritional holes is super helpful. And then doing things like balance. I love balance. It is so good for blood sugar. When we're getting into like the perimenopause, typically with the heavy bleeding, you see uh, if there's heavy clots and heavy bleeding, like massive, like Typically, that means there is some type of burden on the body, whether it's parasites, heavy metals, mycotoxins, mold. So you're getting into like a little more nitty-gritty in there. You don't want to just throw yourself into like detoxing all those. Um, because some people like they just need to go slow and steady. They have to figure out a good fit for them in those areas. But I always think everyone should do like a little parasite cleanse at least once or twice a year, just because we're organic beings. So typically, when you have hormone stuff that is affecting those, you again, that's where X Factor Plus comes in, your E's will come in, and just help reduce the inflammation in the liver, will help the conversion in the liver, and the gut. So like the liver and gut have an axis that they work together, and if one's not working as well, it really influences the other. Because I don't know if you guys know, the bile from your gallbladder actually is used as a disinfectant, a natural disinfectant for your bowels to help keep things in check. It's quite fascinating how it all goes together. So, and I'm saying more on here because this is recorded. That's a long answer for your short question. But I know people are going to go back and watch this. I'm just trying to add some extra stuff. Did that help you, or did that? It's okay if it didn't. You can let me know, Ashley, if that was beneficial. Because I would say just the ease and the X factor would be good things to plug in um, for that. So let me know. Do you guys have any other questions? Carrie, do you have questions?
I want to ask you about the parasite cleanse. Do you have one that you recommend for that?
I do. Like it depends where people are, but yeah, there's one called Purify by Tree of Life. Very simple. You can do it for 30, 60, 90 days, just see where you're at. If you're breastfeeding, do not parasite cleanse. Um, and you want to just make sure, like if you're on medications, that those herbs are okay with any meds. Typically, those ones are pretty easy, but I always like people to just double check. But that's a good question. And then there's like a whole lot. If that doesn't feel like that takes care of it, then you can try some more intensive, like cell core. Uh, because I'm a practitioner, you have to get it from a practitioner. So you have to get it from somebody. You typically can't go to their web. No, you can't go to their website. But they're more expensive but they're very thorough. They've got phases for it. They do well at what they do. So those are the two I would recommend. That's a good question. Because there's like, what do they say? There's like trillions of microorganisms. They don't even know what actually is in our gut.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
Hmm.
do. But like then there's like this whole other, like we know this much, but that's in
Yeah,
a whole room, you know.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
amazing. But that was a good question. Any other questions you guys have? It's okay. She's feeding her son. Oh, yay! I love it. Hold on. Something just popped up on my screen. Let me exit off. Okay. So I had a friend hesitating to start because she's afraid of frequent bathroom needs from detox, but she wants to replace her anxiety meds with something natural. She's always tired. How would you use her mind? Okay, if she already goes to the bathroom a lot, then I just wouldn't put her on the bio cleanse. Now, people with anxiety, sometimes they can have where when you're adjusting their microbiome, it does make them go more. So, what I would say is just have her probably do Vital Biome X Factor and Slim, and I would have her. Trying to think. Or you can do Vitabiome Ease. Yeah, and Slim. And you could pair the E's with a Vital Biome, or you can always be like, hey, let's microdose this. Like get it and let's go really, really slow with the slim. And then when you feel like, we're going to start like an eighth or fourth, when you feel like we get to a place that is like, okay, or you overshoot and maybe makes you feel a little more anxious, we're going to pull down to where you felt good. And that's where you're going to stay. We're not going to like push you to a whole packet of Slim if that's not what your body can handle right now. And so we'll find what works for you. And then same with the Vital Bone. We're going to open it up and we're going to microdose it, put it in some yogurt or applesauce every day. Just slowly work up to where your body feels good. And then, if we overshoot, we'll know, nope, that's too much, and just pull it back to where it's good. X factor. Shh. Sorry, my dog's talking. X factor I would probably does not taste good at all. So she could try just one, would not have her jump to two. Um, and let me know if that helps. Um, but that's how I would say it. Of like, yes, this can totally help, but um, we just need to go slow and steady because things can fire off, anxiety if you adjust things too fast. Oh, ease does not taste good opened either.
Mm-mm.
Swallowed that one. Um, and then I'm trying to think. And there's things, I mean, other things she can do, like collagen, if she needs to firm up her bowels. Collagen's really good for that. Yeah, so anyone with anxiety, you don't really want to detox them. You want to give them nutritional value for their body because the anxiety is saying there's already something not like I'm already deficient in something, whether it's gut or whatever. So we don't really want to try to detox her. We actually want to help adjust the nutritional value slowly for her body at a pace that she can handle. Because everyone's genetics and bodies and their detox flow is different. So where you could handle like popping in a vital biome, she might need to start really low. So that was a good question. Any others? My dog is in a talky mood. We have the windows open. She's like barking at everything. Um, so yeah, I'll say, I mean, if you guys don't have any more questions, I can like do one more thing about detox and weight loss, and then we can hop off if that's fine. All right. So with detox, some people can handle it, some people can't. It honestly, if you don't have enough adrenal tone, if you've already been in pain, you've already been dealing with a lot of inflammation, um, it can go either way. Typically, your adrenals are your stress response, but so is your liver. So those two get hit a lot with stress. And when I mean stress, I mean something that is like um, from situation to your body just not feeling good, like chronic pain, things like that, or just like chronic gut issues. That's stressful. So that's what I forgot actually. One thing that's great for menopause is Metaburn. That helps so much. That thing is amazing. Helps with energy, mood, burning. It's actually got some liver support built into it and adaptogens. So it helps your adrenals. All the things that get hit with all the hormone changes. Um, and so when we try to, some people can handle detox. They are good to go. They drop the weight, keep the weight off. They keep flying. Some people it can get messy. So just because we don't see results or don't get results doesn't mean things aren't naturally actually working. It can mean that the dosages, one, aren't correct for the individual's body, and two, they might need some additional things. Like if, again, they're deficient in iron, they need to get some iron on board to help their body. that affects your thyroid, your adrenals, your cells, your oxygen delivery to all your organs if you don't have enough iron. So you detox someone, they don't have enough iron, they're going to feel worse. And so that can just be a place where you're like, okay, we're going to pause, we're going to reassess, and we're going to figure out, are there some missing pieces that are going on? Do we need Iron Woman? Do we need to do greens as a setup for the GI tract prior to plugging in reset? So you have things like that. Sometimes restore if people's liver phases aren't just going enough, or maybe they're constipated. Restore needs to be pulled down because it's helping release a bunch of great toxins, clean out the gut, but it's doing it too fast. So we just need to slow it down and pull it back. Um, I love BioCleanse, like just to help move the GI tract and get things flowing. Um, if you feel like you're in a detox, loose is better. Like your GI, it's okay if it's loose. Um, and then you're so welcome, Carrie. Um, and so some people, they need to push through and they'll see the other side. Some people, they're not going to see the fruit on the other side because they don't have the setup in their body to be able to handle it. Um, and so just knowing that and having those conversations and asking the questions and setting up the expectations of like, yes, we're totally going to get you results, but here's where I'm seeing we start. If finances are an issue, here's where we're going to start, but we need to know that we might need to pivot should, I don't know, you go to the doctor and you find your cholesterol is super high. Oh, we need to plug in Mega X. That is going like now weight loss is starting to become a lower level thing. We've got to address why is the cholesterol super high? Plug in Mega X, and probably I would do X Factor on top of that to help with cholesterol with the triplex. Um, if you're having like chronic pain, if we're doing all the anti-inflammatories, if you're dosing it right, you're on the X factor, then we just need to see if there's maybe like some parasitic load that we just need to clear out first. It's like cleaning weeds out of your garden. Like it happens in our grass. And you guys know if you don't like take care of your grass, it just gets crazy with all the stuff. I know ours, it literally has been grown like weeds everywhere. I was like, I've never seen this before, and that can actually happen to your gut. Um, you can get exposed to other things. You have a round of antibiotics that just changes the dynamic of your internal microbiome. So all of that to say is your microbiome is your first and fourth, like it is your first line of defense, but it also is one to look at the different angles of what's affecting it. How is it moving? Um, can the person handle the detox? And if not, readjust. Um, with weight loss, a lot of times people plateau, like, and then what I would do from there is I would look at diet because there could be some, inflammatory foods that are just not letting you drop below a specific area. Like you got to reduce the inflammation. And once you do that, actually, after a while, you reduce inflammatory foods, you can reintroduce them once the gut is healed. It's really hard to heal a gut when it is constantly being inflamed at high levels. So if you need to pull out gluten, or if you're like, yes, I know it's dairy, I'm phlegmy, all the stuff, um, just pause on that or find an alternative. Some people do better with goat or plant-based, or just take it out for like 3 months and then reintegrate it after you've done like increase your probio 5 and then see where you land in your reintroduction of it. Um, it just allows the body space to do what it needs to do. If we just pump supplements at it, if we just keep throwing all the food at it and it stays inflamed, obviously, I know this world is fast and crazy and people don't feel like they have time, but eventually we are forced to have to take time because things aren't moving the way we want to in our bodies. Our bodies will literally slow down and we slow down. So if we need to address that or um, look at maybe adjusting some things for the gut health, like adding in vital biome or maybe greens, just to do some additional assistance to it, then that really helps. Um, Weight typically, if it plateaus, though, is liver. Your liver is what converts it out. But again, you need to make sure you got the bowels moving. And so Restore would be a great piece to put in if people are having trouble with that. And I believe I've heard it helps naturally get rid of parasites, so that can be something you can
I
add.
wondered that.
Yeah, I know it helps with biofilms and things. And so once you start changing the terrain and making it less hospitable for them, it naturally actually makes them leave. They don't have the comfy, cozy space they used to have. Um, and so I do love Restore for that. Trying to think. Okay, I think that's it. Do you guys have any other questions?
I want to ask you something once you stop the recording.
Okay, all right, I'll go ahead and stop it.